All right, everyone, it's finally that time of the year again where I go over my early Oscar predictions, and this time it's for the 2026 Academy Awards. Usually I start this in September, but this year I decided to start it in October, a little bit late because everything was still up in the air. The film festival's running a little bit late. I didn't know what was going to get nominated, but these are just some early predictions. We're going to start with Best Picture. This is going to be the longest category because it does have 10 nominees. But starting with In the Race, I have a lot of the Netflix movies because I have no idea what Netflix is going to decide to push, because a lot of their movies that they premiered at the film festivals, received some, lukewarm reactions. I don't think one stood out having amazing reactions. There wasn't one that got tens and nines. They mostly got sevens, eights, some of them got sixes. But at 14, I have The House of Dynamite, one that doesn't seem as strong as the others. I'll keep a close eye on it because it does launch on Netflix, I think, at the end of this month. I think it's October 24th. Not too sure about that, but I think it does launch at the end of this month. 13th, I have Begonia from Yorgos Lanthimos. You can always count on him to really be in the race. Kinds of Kindness didn't, have great legs at the Oscars. Didn't really get any nominations, I don't think. But Poor Things did a great job. Begonia, he's kind of back to that one small story that he's trying to tell. One contained story. This trailer looks great. Really loving what he's doing. Got Emma Stone, Jesse Plemons. I think it could make some noise if it does open at, a decent amount at the box office. Then we got two more Netflix movies at 12 and 11. 12, Jay Kelly. 11, Frankenstein. Thinking about this right now, I maybe should have put Jay Kelly above Frankenstein, but I just decided to put Frankenstein a little bit higher because I think I've seen a little bit better reactions for it. And I think Frankenstein will do better in some other categories like the craft categories. But I could see Jay Kelly getting in because I do have it in some other acting categories maybe getting in. But for the Netflix movies, I don't have any of them in the top 10 yet. But I could see Frankenstein or Jay Kelly getting into the 10 spot. But now into the top 10. At number 10, I have Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, because it's a musical biopic. We usually have one of those each year getting in. Last year it was A Complete Unknown. Everyone doubted that movie, but then the nominations came out and it got in a lot of categories. I don't think it got double digits, but I think it got like 7, 6 categories. It was a major movie, and I've seen pretty great reactions for this one. Some sevens, mostly a lot of eights. From the trailers, I'm really excited for it. I think it can do really well. I think it gets 2 acting nominations for it. Number 9, It Was Just an Accident. This is a international film. You'll see on this list, I have a couple international films on here because the Oscars are just loving international films. I love them too. I love how we're just accepting a lot of them these past few years. It is great to see. I don't know a lot about this one. I've seen a lot of people say they really love it. I watched the trailer. You don't really get too much from the trailer, and I probably won't be able to see it until like January, February, because all these international movies never come to my theaters. But I do have some hope that it will get in. In the number 8 spot, I have Avatar Fire and Ash, which is one I really want to talk about for a little bit because I just got back from the Avatar The Way of Water IMAX 3D re-release, and it was glorious. I mean, The Way of Water is such an astounding film and feat in the filmmaking, space, and that movie did pretty well with nominations. Of course, won for VFX. I don't even have to tell you who I'm winning for VFX this year because it's going to be Fire and Ash. And they did show a sneak preview to Fire and Ash, a short clip. It looks insane. It looks even better than The Way of Water, like the aerial scenes with the Wind Traders, the Ash Tribe. Oh my goodness, I think that this movie is going to be better than Way of Water. Everyone's always doubting Avatar. They're always like, oh, it's not going to make any money this time. It's not going to do it. But then it's going to make $2 billion. And they're like, oh, it's not going to be nominated for Best Picture. That's what they said about The Way of Water. And if Fire and Ash is, as good as The Way of Water, or if it's better, then it's easily going to get into Best Picture. I have it at 8 because, I always have Avatar from 5 to 10 because I don't think it's ever going to win. I don't think they're ever going to accept a movie like this winning because it is too commercial in a sense, and it is very visual effects heavy, and they never really award those Best Picture, but it's easily going to get in. Same for Wicked for Good at 7. Don't really have a lot to say about this one because it's an obvious nomination because the first one got in. This one I think could do a little bit better because it is a more emotional movie, less fun, I would say, as the first one, I've been told. The Academy loves the emotions flowing, so this one will do pretty good. Then at 6, I have another international film, No Other Choice. This is Park Chan-wook's new movie, and I've heard nothing but amazing things from this one. but I'm a little on the edge about this one. I really want to put it in a lot more categories. But Park Chan Wook, he doesn't have a good track record with the Academy. His films don't get that many nominations. I don't think Decision to Leave got a single nomination. I might be wrong, but I don't think it got that many or even one. It definitely didn't get into Best Picture, but that's an amazing movie. And Decision to Leave is one of my favorite movies of the decade so far. No Other Choice, I've heard such great things. It has the guy from Squid Games. I'm not going to remember his name, but the villain from Squid Games. That's who's in this movie leading it. Heard amazing things. Number 5, Marty Supreme from Josh Safdie. This trailer I've watched on repeat like 40, 50 times maybe. I am so excited. Timothée Chalamet, he's been in a movie for every year in the past like 4 years, 5 years maybe. And he's had one every Christmas for the last 3 years. What he had, Complete Unknown, Wonka. I think he had Dune, maybe that was November, December, something like that. But it did play through Christmas. And now we have this Christmas with Marty Supreme. So excited for this. I think Josh Safdie is going to create something special with this movie. And, it's the only Safdie's brother movie I have in Best Picture because Benny Safdie's in the Smashing Machine. I don't think it's going to get there. I enjoyed that movie. I just don't see it being, as good as Marty Supreme's going to be. And then I have Sinners at number 4, which I think is going to do pretty well at the Oscars for nominations because this was just an astounding movie. And I remember seeing it back in April. What a great film this was. I have it getting a pretty decent amount of nominations. I know some people have been saying, horror movies don't do that well. But last year, we had The Substance get, a decent amount of nominations, some wins. Nosferatu got some nominations. And Sinners, I think it's a pretty accessible horror movie. And it's not really a direct horror movie, I would say. If we're talking about Warner Bros. And their slate, Weapons is their clear horror movie that year. Sinners, has some horror, but it's also kind of like a musical, a drama, at the same time, a romance movie some points. Just, it's an amazing movie. It's my second favorite movie of the year so far as of recording this. So yeah, number 4. Then I have 3, Sentimental Value, another international film that's coming from the same filmmaker as The Worst Person in the World. I think that one did pretty good on nominations when it came out, but I wasn't covering the Oscars at that time. I didn't have a YouTube channel at that time, but I did watch that movie for the first time. I thought it was great. Really enjoyed it. Loved the leads. Loved the script. The screenplay was amazing. But yeah, I'm excited for this one. It's got amazing reviews and stuff. I think it premiered at Cannes, if I'm correct about that. I saw the first trailer. So excited. I think it comes out in November, hopefully to my theaters. I'm praying to God. I really want to see it. But yeah, number 3, number 2, and number 1, though. These are the big boys right here this Oscar season. Number 2, though, is going to be Hamnet. One that I had at number 1 until One Battle After Another came out. But Hamnet is going to stay at number 2 for a long time. Maybe until the Academy Awards take place, because I don't believe that it's going to get over One Battle After Another. But I've heard nothing but amazing things from Hamnet. Some people I've heard aren't the biggest fans of it, but I've heard that it's gotten 9s, gotten 10s from people. Chloe Zhao is directing this one. She won for Nomadland. And, I haven't seen that movie, so I can't say anything about it. I haven't heard the best things about that movie, though. But that was a weak year when that one came out. But Hamnet, it's, about, I think it's about Shakespeare and his wife and his son, something like that. Not too sure. I think it's adapted from a book of the same name, or it's adapted from a play. Not too sure about that. Don't quote me. I think it's a book, though. I got to look at it a little bit more. I only saw snippets of the trailer when I was watching the Smashing Machine, so I have to watch the trailer in full. Heard great things about it, though. But number 1 on Best Picture rankings for right now is going to be One Battle After Another. As of recording this, I've seen this 4 times in IMAX, and it left IMAX, so I won't be able to see it again in IMAX, sadly. But oh my goodness, this is the best movie of the year. It's not going to get passed by anything for me. As much as I love Avatar, I just don't see Avatar Fire and Ash being this good. Paul Thomas Anderson is just firing on all cylinders, and I really think that he's going to take home the win this year with this one. I think it's like the same thing we had with Oppenheimer, with Chris Nolan finally looking for his first Oscar, looking for his first Best Picture win after many movies, many years. And this is just like Paul Thomas Anderson. He's been nominated many times. His movies have been nominated many times, but he hasn't directly won. And I think it's finally his time, especially this year when I don't see any other movie beating it. And this one, I have it getting double-digit nominations. You'll see it in a few minutes when I show the other categories. But yeah, this movie is going to be all over the place with the Academy Awards. I think it's doing pretty well at the box office so far. but critics love it. Audiences love it. I mean, some general audiences love it, some don't. But man, I just had a blast with this movie. When it comes out in physical 4K, I'm gonna be rewatching it on loop every single week. I mean, this has Best Picture written all over it. It's one of the best movies of the decade so far. Now for Best Director, I'm gonna go pretty quick through these other categories because there's less nominees in these ones. In the race at number 8, I have Catherine Bigelow for House of Dynamite. Kind of like Best Picture, last place on Best Director list. Catherine Bigelow, though, I think she's pretty good director. She always proves her worth. So number 8 seems like a good place. Number 7, Yorgos Lanthimos for Begonia. He's gotten in some other times. Poor Things, of course. I don't really see this one happening unless Begonia is just a huge success, but I'll keep an eye on it. Number 6, Park Chan-wook for No Other Choice. And as I said before, he hasn't been doing that well with the Academy. He doesn't really get nominated that often. His movies don't do too well, but he makes amazing pictures, and if No Other Choice is amazing, I think he does have a strong chance at getting into Best Director here. But at number 5, I have Josh Safdie for Marty Supreme. The only Safdie I have getting in because I just think Josh is going to deliver a better movie on all fronts. Talking about the Safdie brothers, I don't think I see one or the other being better than the other. I mean, they've worked with each other for a couple films, Good Time, Uncut Gems. They do such a great job together. And we're going to see if Josh can bring in a better movie than Benny. I think he can. But who knows? Maybe it's going to be a terrible movie. Maybe his direction won't be that good. But I really do have a lot of faith in him, especially from that first trailer. Then we have Trier. I'm not going to try to pronounce his first name. I don't think I can get it right. But for sentimental value, I think that he'll easily get in here. Chloe Zhao for Hamnet. I think she's going to get in, but I have her at number 3 because she's already won. So I don't see her winning again. It's really hard for these directors to win again, especially when there's stronger movies above them, which I think there is this year. Number 2, Ryan Coogler for Sinners. I'm a little bit worried about him. I have a number 2 because I think he's going to get in, but it could be a Denis Villeneuve situation with him. They could snub him. I hope they don't. That would be just terrible. It sucks for people of color. They don't get, that many great opportunities to get nominated. But I think it has gotten better these past couple years, especially for females too in these categories. But I do hope he gets in. I mean, he's just brought his best work on Sinners. Number 1, though, is going to be Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another. I've already talked about it at length in Best Picture. I think it's finally his time to win. He just brings amazing movies to the table every single time. 10 movies that he's made no bad movies in my eyes. His direction is always on point. He knows what he's doing when he creates a movie, and he created a masterpiece with this one, so I have him winning for Best Director. Now for Best Actress in the race at number 8, I have Jennifer Lawrence for Die My Love. This is the movie with Robert Pattinson in it as a couple living, in a random place in the world and stuff happens. The first trailer, I got nothing from it. I was like, I have no idea what's going on. Looks pretty good aesthetically. I like the 2 main actors in it. I think Jennifer Lawrence is great. She's already done well at the Oscars. So I have her, in a chance of getting in, but I just don't see a lot happening for this one. Number 7, Sydney Sweeney for Christie. I think this is a biopic about a boxer. I don't know too much about it. I saw the first trailer, but the funniest thing about this movie was the first reactions came out from a film festival, and they said Sydney Sweeney, lock her up for Best Actress winner. She's amazing. The movie's amazing. I saw the most praise for this movie I've seen in a while. Then the review embargo dropped. The Rotten Tomatoes score came out, and I think it was like 60%, 50%. And I was like, what? This is totally different from the first reactions I heard. That's why you have to, take it with a grain of salt on first reactions and then look at first reviews a little bit more because it shows a more in-depth reaction. But yeah, I think everyone was just thinking she was going to get in, but I really don't see it. She's a little too new to the game and a little outside of what the Academy is looking for. Number 6, Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. I don't know too much about this one. The first trailer was pretty interesting, though. I really liked it. This is another one from A24. I really think A24 has too many movies this year. Just like last year, they're going to forget about some of them, and I think this one is one of them they're going to forget about, especially because they're not pushing this at all. I mean, it comes out pretty soon, only in a limited release. I don't see it getting a wide release. I don't know if it's going to happen. I hope so. I want to watch it. Conan O'Brien's also in this movie, but they're just really bad at pushing their movies. So I don't have a lot of hope for her. But if they do end up pushing it, I have her at 6 right now. I think she can maybe get in. Heard good things. Number 5 though is going to be Emma Stone for Begonia. With Emma Stone, you always know you're going to get a fantastic performance. I think she's won 3 Oscars right now. She's just killing it at this point. I think it was La La Land, The Favorite, and Poor Things, of course. A lot of people did not want her to win for Poor Things, but I called it months beforehand. I think that performance is the best one of her career. Begonia, though, I don't know. She has to share the screen with Jesse Plemons for a decent amount of time, so maybe not. And it might be a controversial movie, but with Emma Stone, you can always count on a nomination for her. Number 4, I have Amanda Seyfried for The Testament of Anne Lee. This one, I was a little bit worried about. I still have it in the race on some other categories because it, premiered at some film festivals, but it hadn't gotten picked up by any distributor, but it finally got picked up just a couple days ago by Searchlight. Searchlight, we've been a little bit worried about them because they don't have a movie that's going to compete. I think they were doing Rental Family. That one didn't get the greatest reviews, but now they got this one. So they're like, we need a movie. We're scrambling. So they finally got this movie, which should be, a decent time. I took it out of Best Picture because I didn't think it was going to get picked up. Maybe I'll put it in Best Picture again next month when I finally see a trailer. Who knows? The trailer might be out by the time I post this. But right now, while I'm recording, there's no trailer out. I haven't seen any footage, so I don't know what's going to happen. But I think Amanda Seyfried will get a nomination here. This is coming out on Christmas Day in limited release and probably wide release in January. So I won't be able to see it for a long time. But I think that she'll get a nomination. Number 3, Cynthia Erivo, Wicked Part 2, Wicked for Good. I think she's locked up for a nomination. Don't have much to say about her. Number 2, I have Renate Reinsve. Hopefully that's how you say her name. I always forget it. For Sentimental Value. I think that she's an amazing actress. I've only seen her in 3 things, though. I think it's only 3 things. Actually, I think it's only 2 things. It's The Worst Person in the World, which, oh my god, an amazing performance in that movie. And A Different Man from last year. That's a very underrated movie. If you haven't seen that, go watch it. It should have done much better for nominations last year. So good. She had a great small part in that one. But yeah, this movie, Sentimental Value. As I said, I don't know too much about the plot, but I know that it has a lot of great performance in it. That's what I've heard from some inside sources who have seen it that I'm close to. So I'm gonna keep an eye on some of those performances. I thought she was gonna win until those Hamnet first reactions came out. So Jessie Buckley, I have at number 1. I've heard Hamnet is just Jessie Buckley's Oscar movie. I heard that she's going to win for that. I heard that that's basically her Poor Things. There's going to be no one standing in her way. I'd be surprised if she lost this. This is just her award to win. Jessie Buckley is also an amazing actress who's been working for some time. I don't know if she's gotten any other nominations in the past, but I mean, she's given great performance after great performance. Just from the trailer, you've seen just some raw emotion that she's giving. And she loses her son in the movie, I've heard. So she's going to give a lot of emotional sequences. So I think that she's going to win for Best Actress. Now for Best Actor, which is one that I made a couple last minute changes on. At number 8, I have Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon. I remember watching the first trailer for this one a couple weeks ago, maybe it was like a month or 2 ago. I didn't really think too much about from it. It didn't look that great to me. I thought that Ethan Hawke looked pretty good in the leading role, but it didn't look that good. But I mean, I've seen some first reactions outside the couple days ago it premiered, and I've heard some great things about his performance. So I think he has a real chance here. Number 7, Wagner Moura from Secret Agent. I love Wagner Moura. I think he's a fantastic actor. This one has gotten some great reviews. I think this one is another international film. I'm going to keep an eye on this one to see if it does open up near me. I really want to see it. Number 6, George Clooney for Jay Kelly. One that I'm really interested in, Jay Kelly, it premiered at a couple film festivals. I think it was Venice that it started on, and it really started pretty badly. I think it got some bad reactions from there. I think then it went on to Toronto that got some better reactions. So it's kind of going up for this movie, but I'm still going to keep a little bit of an eye on it. I don't think it launches on Netflix until November or maybe early December. I'm not too sure. Maybe it launches in limited November and then Netflix December. The second trailer came out. I think it looked a lot better than that first trailer. From what I remember, it's about George Clooney. He's like an actor who's like older now, and he's trying to getting back in the game or something like that. I'm not too sure. He's like a washed actor or something, but it looks pretty interesting. George Clooney could get in over a number 5, being Dwayne Johnson for The Smashing Machine, which I just saw a couple days ago. Really enjoyed the movie. But I gotta say, I really hope Dwayne Johnson gets a nomination. He just he just brought a really raw performance, and his best performance since Pain and Gain, I'd say, which is over 10 years ago. I thought he was just firing on all fronts. Really enjoyed his emotions in this one. They were flowing. But I think the film does fall apart a little bit in those last 30 minutes. So, not too sure how the Academy will feel about this one. Could see George Clooney going up in that fifth spot if reviews do keep dropping, but we'll see. Number 4, Michael B. Jordan for Sinners. Hoping that he gets in, but this is another one where I'm like, oh, will he get in? Will he not? Who knows? I mean, he plays two roles in this movie, so you got to give prop to him for that. Smoke and Stack, and they're two very different people. And I just thought he did so great with the emotional performance in this one. And he's like, he's just so good, man, in this movie. Just rewatch the movie from the start. You'll see that he's just terrific. He deserves that nomination. 3, though, Jeremy Allen White for Springsteen. It's a biopic performance. I've heard nothing but great things from him in this one, so count that locked in. 2, Leonardo DiCaprio, One Battle After Another. I almost had him at number 1. I really wanted to put him at number 1, but I'm going to wait a little bit. But his performance as Bob, oh my God, as Pat, Ghetto Pat, was legendary. Leonardo DiCaprio is always going to give you a pitch perfect performance. I mean, he's so damn good. It's crazy that he only has 1 Oscar for The Revenant. He deserves so much more. I'm not even sure if he got nomination for Killers of the Flower Moon. I don't remember. I think he got snubbed for that, but that was another amazing performance. I think he's going to get in. I think it's going to be a really interesting fight, though, between him and Timothée Chalamet for Marty Supreme, which I have at number 1 so far. Timothée Chalamet, he's been looking for the Oscar for a while. He almost got it last year, but Adrien Brody ended up getting it, which was my prediction. I thought that Adrien Brody deserved it a little bit more, but Timothée Chalamet for Marty Supreme in the trailer, he's doing a great job, man. He's nailing it, and I think that this role might have a little bit more range than what he did as Bob Dylan, so I have him at number 1 right now. Now for supporting actor in the race at number 8, I have Miles Catton for Sinners. A great debut performance. Can you believe that this is his first performance in anything in his first movie? Crazy, man. He's so good, but I don't see him getting in because it's a debut performance. I mean, the Academy really doesn't do that too often, but I mean, I'll keep an eye on it. He was terrific. Number 7, Akira Emoto for Rental Family. I maybe switched that for Miles because Rental Family hasn't been getting that great of reactions, but I've heard that Akira Emoto has the best performance in the movie, so just keep an eye on the movie when it does come out. I've heard he's really great. Number 6, Delroy Lindo for Sinners. If we're gonna be nominating any supporting performances for Sinners, I see Delroy Lindo getting that because he's been in the acting game for a long time. And I think he has a really great introduction. You see him at the first time at that train station. He gets the beer, he drinks it. He's like, "Oh, this is crazy, man! I love it." And he's really good for throughout the whole movie. He's just so freaking good. He has some funny moments, some gritty moments, some emotional moments. I think that he just is amazing in this film. So if anyone's going to get in, it's going to be him. But right now, I don't have him in. Starting at number 5, Adam Sandler for Jay Kelly. I have Adam Sandler in over George Clooney because I think supporting actor, it does look kind of tough. But I think Adam Sandler, I think he's maybe going to get in because the Academy got some flack for not putting him in for Uncut Gems, so maybe they'll put him in for Jay Kelly. Heard he's pretty good in this movie. 4, Jeremy Strong for Springsteen. It's a biopic performance. I've heard that he's also amazing. Jeremy Strong got in for The Apprentice, which was also a biopic. Jeremy Strong, oh my God, he's another amazing actor, so I think he's gonna get in here. Number 3, I have Paul Mescal for Hamnet. One that I'm not sure what's going on because I've heard that he's going for supporting, but I've also heard people say that he might switch to leading. But I've also heard people say who've seen the movie that he's not in it for a big portion of the time. So I'm gonna lead him in supporting actor for now. And since he's not in the movie for a decent amount of time, I have him at number 3, man. Paul Mescal is also one that I've just been keeping an eye on for a long time. I've heard that he was amazing in After Sun, a movie that I haven't seen yet, but I mean, he's so good. He was in The History of Sound, which I saw a couple weeks ago. Really enjoyed his performance in that. He's so good. But yeah, number 3 right now. Number 2, Sean Penn for One Battle After Another, which I'm really close. Really close to putting him number 1. At the time of recording this, I'm not going to switch it in the graphic, but I think I'm going to switch him for number 1 over Stellan Skarsgård. I think about it right now, I really think Sean Penn is just too good in One Battle After Another. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. He plays this crazy, maniacal, mean-hearted man who's just on a mission to go take out his daughter that shouldn't be alive, and he's he has to get rid of her, and it's a very emotional performance. And he gives a very physical performance at the same time. I mean, what he's doing with his mouth and how he's walking is hilarious. I don't know why he was doing all that, but it's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna move in number one for now until I see sentimental value. I've heard Stellan Skarsgård's great, but I just don't see anyone beating Sean Penn for how good he was in one battle after another. So who knows? In the editing process of making this video, I might have updated the graphic, but if I didn't, I think Sean Penn is going to win for Best Supporting Actor at the moment. For Best Supporting Actress in the race at number 8, I have Glenn Close for Knives Out, Wake Up Dead Man. I've heard that she is the best supporting performance in this movie. Knives Out usually does pretty good in the Oscars department. Doesn't really win too often. If it does, it's going to be in the screenplay category. But, supporting actress is kind of open, especially for the 4 and 5 spots. So I have her, in the race for right now. 7, Emily Blunt in Smash Machine. I don't know about this one still after watching the movie. I don't know how people are taking it. I think that she gives a pretty great performance, but she also plays a very unlikable character sometimes that doesn't go well for the Academy and nominations. Number 6, Amy Madigan for Weapons, an actress that is known, or in the Academy and all that. A lot of people know her for her past roles. But this is also an interesting one to talk about because Weapons is, a pure horror movie, and I don't know if that's going to happen. It'd be awesome, waking up on Oscar nominations morning, hearing Amy Madigan's Weapon nominated. That'd be really cool because if you've seen Weapons, I don't know why. If you haven't, why haven't you? It's an amazing movie. But if you've seen Weapons, you know that she is also a very unhinged character. She's a maniac, kind of a witch lady, and it would be a cool nomination if she got in. But right now I have her at number 6. Number 5, Teyana Taylor for One Battle After Another. One that I might have moved up a little bit more after seeing the movie because she is also amazing in the movie, but she's also not in it for that long. I mean, she's in it for the first 30, 40 minutes, but then she's not in it until kind of like the end of the movie. She has a little voiceover, so she's not in it for that long. So, I mean, but she's amazing, so I have her in right now, but Amy Madigan could go above her. I mean, who knows? Number 5, though, I have Enga for Sentimental Value. I don't want to mispronounce that last name. But yeah, as I've said before, sentimental value is all about those performances. I've heard that those are the best parts about the movie alongside the screenplay. Number 3, Gwyneth Paltrow from Marty Supreme. I think that she's going to give a pretty amazing performance. I think that Gwyneth always does. But she's been in some crap lately. The Marvel movies, she's not going to get nominated for that. This one, though, I think she will. Number 2, Ariana Grande for Wicked for Good. This is another locked up nomination for Wicked. I was debating putting her at number 1, but I have Elle Fanning at number 1 for sentimental value. 2 movies I haven't seen yet, but I'm going to be hopefully seeing them both next month. So we'll see if I make any big changes to this category when I see both of those. But I've heard Elle Fanning is fantastic. Ariana Grande didn't end up getting the win last year for supporting actress. That went to Zoe Saldana in a horrible decision. I think Ariana should have won. But I've said before, Wicked for Good is supposedly more emotional. So if Ariana Grande has more emotional moments in this one than the last one, maybe she could jump up to that number 1. But right now at number 1, I have Elle Fanning. Now for Best Animated Film, this is one that's all up in the air for me outside of like 2 movies. In the race, I have In Your Dreams, one I don't know too much about. I've just been looking at some other people's lists and what they're trying to look at here. 7, I have Elio. I don't see it happening. It wasn't a great movie, didn't do any business at the box office. 6, I have Scarlet. This is one I saw a trailer for not too long ago. I'm really interested in seeing this one in theaters. Love the animation style. I think the story's going to be pretty great. I'll keep an eye on that one. 5, Neja 2. I'm not too sure about this one. I mean, I could easily drop it for Scarlet because, China and all that. Do the Oscars really want to nominate a movie from China? Who knows? It's now the highest grossing animated movie of all time now, making over $2 billion, so maybe it'll get in for that reason. I don't know. 4, I have Little Amelie, and 3, I have Arco, 2 movies I don't know too much about, but I've heard decent things. Number 2, though, I have Zootopia 2. It just had a couple trailers come out. I think it looks pretty great, but I think that Ke Huy Quan might bring the movie down because he's becoming a little too oversaturated. And I honestly don't see this one being as good as the first one. This is one where I hope they don't leave the fans wanting the relationship between Judy and Nick. I want them to get together, but I hope they don't draw it out into a third movie. I think that's going to be really dumb. Number 1, though, I have K-Pop Demon Hunters. I really hope this wins because if it doesn't, you're going to have a lot I mean, a lot of angry fans at your doorstep, Academy members, because this movie is now the #1 Netflix movie of all time, streamed, I think, over 300, 400 million times. I saw it one time. I really need to watch it again because the first time I was out of surgery. I had no idea what happened, but I know this is such a famous movie. People praise the animation and the songs for it. I don't remember it too much. As I said, I really want to watch it again. It just got a Fortnite collaboration with skins. This movie's all over the place. And, with movies for nominations, you want word of mouth to carry it to that, February, March date. And I think that this one's easily going to get carried to then because people are rewatching it over and over and over again. I mean, kids are going crazy. I'd hope that Netflix gives this one a physical release too because of it's so popular they can make even more money off of it. But I see K-pop Demon Hunters taking home the win for Best Animated Feature. Now for Best International Feature, you're going to see that I don't have any in the race because I don't know a lot of international features coming out, and the 5 that I haven't seen any of them. So cut me some slack on this one. I live in a place that doesn't really get a lot of international movies. I think on this list, I'm only getting Sentimental Value this year, which is kind of insane. Number 5, I had the voice of Hind Rajab. I hope that's how you say that. I hope I'm not pronounced that wrong. Rahab, I'm not too sure, but I know this one from film festivals because it got very long standing ovation. I think it was like 17, 16 minutes. I don't know how you're standing that long, man. That's crazy. But yeah, I haven't seen any footage from it, but just from that, I got it in. For The Secret Agent, I've seen the trailer. I think it looks really good. 3, No Other Choice. I want to put this one higher, but it's just Park Chan-wook and his movies don't do that well at the Academy, but I'm so excited to watch this one. The trailers just are amazing. Go watch the trailers for that one. Number 2, It Was Just an Accident. Number 1, Sentimental Value. I've heard the same things about these two. They're not the same movie at all, but I've heard them getting 9s, getting 10s. They're kind of neck and neck for me. But I'm really interested to see how this shapes out, seeing the Sentimental Value next month. So I have it winning right now for Best International Feature. Now we have a new category to talk about, which is Best Casting. This year, it's going to be this year's first category. I don't know too much about how this category is going to work. I don't know how the Academy is going to vote for this. Maybe just is how good the ensemble is, how good the casting was for this. That's how I'm basically taking it. So number 8, Ab Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. 7, Hamnet, which maybe should go up a little bit more, but not too sure right now because it doesn't have that many people in it. 6, Sentimental Value, which I've heard, all the acting performances are great, but I've heard there's only like 4 main people. 5, Knives Out, Wake Up Dead Man. I mean, it has a stacked cast. You're going to have like 8 supporting people in that movie, so I think it'll be pretty good. Number 4, I have Wicked for Good, only because if this category existed last year, I think Wicked Part 1 would have gotten in. 3, Sinners, a stacked ensemble. 2, Marty Supreme, a smaller ensemble, but I think everyone is going to have a pretty decent role. Number 1, though, One Battle After Another. There's so many people in this cast, but I think each person, each character has their own smaller role to play. Even the people that have one sequence, they do that job so well, and you remember them. You remember that one person who has like 30 seconds of screen time. It's kind of insane. I'm still not too sure what's going to happen with this category, but for right now, I have One Battle After Another winning. Now for our screenplay categories, original screenplay, I'll start with at number 8, I have Weapons. I'd love to see this get a nomination. It's such a great screenplay. I really loved how Zach Cregger played with the themes and everything, and the kind of reveals were amazing. The last 10 minutes is just some excellent script and screenwriting. 7, I have Testament to Ann Lee. These below the line categories were done before this got acquired, so after it got acquired, maybe I'll push it in, but I need to see a trailer. 6, House of Dynamite. It's going to be a script heavy movie, so maybe. 5, Jay Kelly. I've heard the script is one of the best parts about this movie. 4, It Was Just an Accident. I think that this one will do pretty well in some below the line categories. 3, Marty Supreme. I think just from the trailer, you're going to get an amazing script. And, Timothée Chalamet helps sell his screenplays that he gets in a really great way because how he just performs them. 2, Sinners. I hope this gets in. It's partly a horror movie, though, so who knows. But number 1, I think it's going to be Sentimental Value. It's just been getting rave reactions, heard great things about that screenplay. So yeah, I have it winning for original screenplay. For Best Adapted Screenplay in the race, at number 8, I have Wicked for Good. I don't really see this one getting in. I don't think the first Wicked got in. I really don't think that happened. But if I'm remembering wrong, then that's my bad. But I don't see Wicked getting in this year. 7, The Smashing Machine. It's lower than, of course, Josh's movie because it's probably not going to be, his Josh's movie is going to be better, as I said. Six, Begonia, because, Yorgos, his movies always have a pretty interesting script that goes pretty deep on its themes. Five, though, Knives Out, Wake Up Dead Man. I'm pretty sure the other two Knives Out movies both got in. Maybe Glass Onion didn't, but I'm pretty sure the first one got in. These scripts are always amazing. Four, No Other Choice. Heard great things about this screenplay. Three, Springsteen, because, biopics usually get into almost every category. Screenplays kind of like 50-50 sometimes. Two's going to be Hamnet. One's going to be One Battle After Another. Just like the Best Picture race, I have those at 1 and 2. I haven't seen Hamnet yet, as I said before, but I think One Battle After Another screenplay is legitimately fantastic. Now for some below the line categories, I'm going to go pretty fast through these because there's not a lot to talk about. Best editing, number 8, Springsteen, Delivered Me From Nowhere. It could get in when I see the movie because it's a biopic. Usually those have some pretty great editing. Bohemian Rhapsody got in with some terrible editing. 7, House of Dynamite. I've heard that has some pretty great editing. 6, No Other Choice. One I really want to put in because Park Chan-wook's movies always have terrific editing, transitions, and all that, but I'm just waiting. I'm waiting a little bit more until it gets a little bit more hype behind it. Number 5, though, is Sentimental Value, which I could easily switch with No Other Choice next month. Who knows? 4, Hamnet. 3, Sinners. 2, Marty Supreme, which I already guarantee is going to be a heavily edited movie. But one's going to be One Battle After Another. Another win. I see this one taking home. The editing on this was just amazing. I love how this movie is kind of like Oppenheimer, taking the same route. Oppenheimer was 3 hours. You didn't feel the runtime. This one's 2 hours 41. It used to be 2 hours and 50. I think Paul Thomas Anderson cut some stuff out. I'd love to see some deleted scenes. But yeah, this one flies by. It feels like it's an hour 45, 2 hours at most. I can watch it over and over again. That's what I'm going to do when I own it. But yeah, its editing was fantastic. Now for Best Cinematography, one of my favorite categories at the Oscars because I love cinematography. I love looking at it when I'm watching movies. I just love some shots that people can come up with. Interstellar is one of my favorite shot movies of all time. It's just so amazing what they're able to do with that movie. Some other good movies too, but Interstellar is my favorite movie of all time, so I have to hype it up a little bit. But cinematography is one of the things I love to study about filmmaking. Number 8, The Testament of Anne Lee. As I've said before, this was made before it got picked up. But I don't think I have it in. I don't think I still have it getting in number 5. But who knows? That trailer might be stunning. 7, No Other Choice. I've heard the cinematography is amazing. Still gonna wait. 6, Begonia. Just from the trailer, you see some amazing shots. I'm not sure what they filmed this with though. It looks terrific. I'm not sure if they're using some of the same cameras as Poor Things, but cinematography of Poor Things was terrific also. 5, Frankenstein. I saw their most recent trailer. Looks great. I'm a little less sold though because it looks a little too CGI at points from what they're doing. And I'm a little mad at the film and Netflix because I wish I could see this in theaters, but it doesn't look like it's coming to a theater near me, which is really, 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 really disappointing. I really wish I could have saw this in theaters, but I'm gonna have to wait till next month to watch it on Netflix. It's gonna be horrible. Who wants to watch this on their TV for the first time? My God, it's gonna look even worse in my eyes. But I have it in at the moment. 4, Marty Supreme. It's not a very flashy movie from the trailers, but I really loved how the blocking is going in each shot and, just the type of cinematography that's going on. 3, One Battle After Another. One that I've thought about moving up a couple spots, but it's also not too flashy at times. That car chase at the end, though, does have me thinking I want to put it a little bit higher. It's also shot with VistaVision, which isn't used much nowadays. The Brutalist and this one both use it. The Brutalist won for Best Cinematography, so maybe next month I'll have a change of heart. Maybe this will be up a little bit more, but who knows at the moment. 2 is going to be Hamnet. I love the trailer. I loved how that was shot. I think it just looks beautiful, especially the stage play sequences. Number 1, though, is going to be Sinners right now. This was just shot in an amazing way. I forget who shot this movie. It's someone that I know, but I already forget. Man, I gotta go look that up after filming this because I'm gonna feel really stupid once I see it. But the shots in this were amazing. The IMAX sequences and how it just raised the frame. That's gotta be why I have it at number 1 frame right now. I mean, seeing One Battle After Another in the IMAX ratio was amazing. But I love when movies kind of expand the frame like Sinners did in those certain sequences. And even though the movie wasn't all in IMAX, those certain sequences were just breathtaking. The sunset shot is one that's ingrained in my mind for a long time. I talked to my friends about this one. One of my best friends who I used to work with, he saw this like 4 times and he just loves how this one's shot. He loves, the sunset shot, the IMAX sequences. He was geeking about that with me after we saw it. So for right now, I have Sinners at number 1. Now getting into some craft categories, we have best production design. Also another favorite for me because it, kind of puts you into the movie, puts you into this world because, you gotta have good production design. You gotta have good sets. You don't want just green screen everywhere. And I'm really excited to talk about this one. Number 8, I have One Battle After Another. I really wanted to put this one in, but I think there's just going to be other better movies that have better production and more intricate. I'd say 7, Testament of Anne Lee, one that could go up a little bit more once I see some footage. 6, Marty Supreme. I wanted to put this one in also, but I want to see that second trailer, which I think we'll get next month. Number 5, though, is going to be Avatar Fire and Ash. I keep forgetting if Avatar the Way of Water, the first one, got in for production design or costumes. I'm not sure, but I really want them to. It's kind of interesting to talk about the Avatar movies with production design and costume design because it's mostly all handled in the computer software with the VFX and added in. But I think you still have to count that because it's still work being done. It's not physical props. I mean, there's still some physical props that are being held on them and like kind of put into the movie from computers and all that. But there's still people doing the work and making these objects to put into the movie. So it's kind of an interesting conversation to be had. But I think that just from the trailers, you've seen some amazing work being done. For Sinners, I loved the kind of place that they set up here. What was the Juke area? That's kind of area. The kind of this train station I think was built from scratch too. The stores. God, and the little shack out in the wilderness. That was so amazing. 3, Wicked for Good. That's going to be a locked up nomination just like the first one. 2, Hamnet. I'm pretty sure they built kind of like the stage play stuff from scratch on this one. So it looks pretty good. Number 1, though, right now I have Frankenstein because it's a crafts heavy movie. If Frankenstein doesn't get in Best Picture, maybe I'll drop it a little bit. But if Frankenstein does get into Best Picture when nominations drop, I think it's going to be looking pretty good for it to win these crafts categories. So I have it at number 1 for Best Production Design. For Best Costume Designs at number 8, I have Springsteen Deliver Me From Nowhere. I think you're doing some sort of period piece here from, a couple decades ago. I'm not sure when this is taking place. It might be 90s or 80s, something like that. 7, I Kiss of the Spider Woman. I don't know too much about this one. It's kind of a musical, so you're gonna have a lot of different costumes. But I think this one is flopping at the box office right now, and it's not doing that well review wise. Last time I checked, I think it was like 60-70% Rotten Tomatoes, something like that. But could get in if it's a weaker year for costumes. 6, Testament of Anne Lee. From the first image I saw, costumes look pretty good, but I've only seen one image of the movie. 5, though, Marty Supreme. You're also dealing with some sort of period piece here from a couple decades ago. Loving the first looks of the costumes, though. I think it looks pretty good. 4, Sinners. I mean, God, those costumes were magnificent. I loved, what was it, the suits that Smoke and Stack had on, how they are both different because, they're twins. You got to tell them apart. It was amazing. Yeah, I thought Sinners had great costumes. 3, Hamnet. That one's going to be also have some great costumes. 2, Frankenstein. 1, Wicked for Good. Wicked won costumes last year. I think that they can win again this year if they go different. And I think from the trailers we've seen, each character is getting different costumes. Frankenstein, I said maybe because the costumes look great, but for right now, I have Wicked for Good winning Best Costume Design. Now for Best Makeup, which is always such a fun category to talk about. On number 8, I have Weapons. For, Amy Madigan and some other characters, it's one that could maybe get in. 7, Wolfman. One that came out, I think, back in January. I've seen other people put it in their top 5. I'm a little confused about that. I didn't want to put it in my top 5 just for the Wolfman makeup. Even though it looks good, the movie's not great, so I put it at number 7. 6, Begonia, just because, makeup and hairstyling of Emma Stone is really cool, especially when you see her bald for the first time in the trailer. I thought that was just a stunning shot of the makeup work done on her. 5, though, is going to be Sinners, because you got that vampire makeup and all of that. I'm not sure if last year if Nosferatu got in. Should have got in. Yeah, I think it got in, but it didn't win because, it should have won in my eyes, but I know people love the substance, but I think Bill Skarsgård was just, you couldn't see him at all in that makeup. But Sinners is another vampire movie, so I think you're going to get it in. For 28 Years Later, one that I really want to get in. I'm not 100% on it. I'm like 70% on it. But yeah, I had some great makeup and makeup work, hairstyling too. 3, The Smashing Machine. This movie literally makes Dwayne Johnson unrecognizable for like half the movie. And then the other half, he kind of cuts the hair, so then you kind of see Dwayne Johnson inside of that role. But for most of the movie, I was like, this looks nothing like Dwayne Johnson right now, and that's props to the makeup team. Two, though, Wicked for Good. I mean, you're gonna have a lot of crazy makeup and hairstyling for that. Number one, though, is gonna be Frankenstein, because you're gonna have the monster Frankenstein himself, Frankenstein. I think that Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster, they're both gonna have some great makeup and hairstyling work. You see Oscar Isaac in like a winter sort of area, and his hairstyling and how they make him look like he has frostbite's really good. So Victor Frankenstein's gonna have good makeup, but it's all of what the monster looks like in this one. You don't see a full look at him during the second trailer, but you do get kind of a dark look. I think he's gonna be like Bill Skarsgård and Nosferatu. I think he's gonna have a great look. He's gonna be pretty unrecognizable. You're not gonna see Jacob Elordi there, so I think that Frankenstein has this locked up for now. Now for best VFX, I mean, we know who's winning this one, but I'll talk about who the other nominees will most likely be. 8, Tron Ares, which is coming out in like a week from when I'm recording this. VFX look pretty good, but there could be some shaky moments in there with the green screen. 7, Mission Impossible, one that could get in because I've seen the other ones get in off, VFX that look pretty invisible. Some smaller VFX work in there. 6, How to Train Your Dragon, the live action one. Lovely VFX in this movie. You really don't see too many bad shots in this one. I was surprised. I thought it was going to be kind of wonky in some sequences, but Toothless looked great. The other dragons looked amazing. But I really want to put it in. I might put it in over Fantastic Four next month, because Fantastic Four is one of those movies that does have a few wonky shots, especially with a baby and the CGI of a baby being blended into some sequences. I thought Fantastic Four First Steps is a really good movie. I thought it was great in first watch, but the more I watch some of these Marvel movies, and some bad shots in them really kind of sour them on me a little bit. I still think it's really good, but there's some really bad shots in there at some point, so maybe next month this won't be in there. 4, Wicked for Good. I think Wicked has always had some pretty good VFX. Not great lighting, but VFX is still pretty good. 3, F1. You have a lot of invisible VFX shots in here, and this is probably a more VFX heavy movie than you think it is. Let's just say that. 2, Superman. It could have won. It has a great visual effects for a superhero movie, but I mean, come on, it's Avatar: Fire and Ash. You really think they're gonna lose this? I mean, the amount of hours they put into making these movies, making Avatar, making it look how good it looks. Just rewatching Way of Water, I mean, that movie looks real, man. They make the Na'vi look like real people. It makes it look like just like real life on a different planet, like aliens that we haven't seen yet in our lifetime. But yeah, Avatar: Fire and Ash is easily going to win this. Now for best sound, another one where I think the winner is pretty locked up at the moment, but for in the race, number 8, Mission Impossible. The sound work on the Mission Impossible movies is always amazing. I'd love to move this one up in a couple months. 7, House of Dynamite, depending on whatever happens this one. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be, sound effect blasting heavy. 6, Warfare. This is a very sound effect blast heavy type of movie. Really puts you into that warfare and what these people are experiencing. I had this one up pretty high, but it's lost a lot of momentum. Is A24 even going to remember to push this movie? I have no idea. 5 being Avatar: Fire and Ash. The Avatar movies always have good sound design. I mean, that's one of the best parts about these movies. 4, Springsteen. It's a biopic. They're usually going to get in, as I've said. 3, One Battle After Another. Sound design on this one's amazing. I mean, golly, I loved great sound design in this one. And I love that they use it correctly. I mean, they don't really dial down any one sound design elements in this one, but you hear everything. You hear every single element of this one. 2, Sinners. It's kind of a musical, so I'd say it's pretty locked up. But 1, I think that everyone thinks F1 will win. If F1 doesn't win, then I think it's a bit surprising, because you're dealing with fast cars and really intricate sound design for what they got to do. Kind of reminds me of Top Gun Maverick, which won pretty easily. So I think F1 will also win. Now for best score, I think this is my second favorite category. Now for best score, I think this is my second favorite category at the Oscars, because if your score is good in your movie, you're going to have my heart. I mean, I think a good score to me is always one that I can listen to without the movie. I love a good score with the movie, but if it's so good that I want to listen to it without the movie, then you have an amazing score on your hands. Right now in the race, I have 8th Testament of Anne Lee. It's kind of a musical, so maybe. 7, Begonia. Yorgos movies usually do pretty well. Poor Things had an amazing score. I think it's the same person scoring Begonia. 6, Jay Kelly. I've heard some pretty good things about this one. 5, Frankenstein. I think these kind of horror movies, they all usually have a pretty great score. Nosferatu had a great score. Guillermo del Toro always gets a good composer. I always forget who he gets, but I think it's usually the same person. Might be wrong, but usually he has a great person doing the score. For Marty Supreme, only because I have it so high in Best Picture, I really think that this one's going to be firing on all cylinders. 3, Hamnet, one I've also heard has a great score in some specific sequences. 2, though, One Battle After Another, a score that I listened to on replay. I've been listening to a while. I almost put it above Sinners. I almost want to, but I'm going to wait a little bit longer. Maybe next month you'll see at number 1. But right now at number 1, I have Sinners by Ludwig Göransson. He won. He won a couple times, didn't he? He won for Oppenheimer. I'm pretty sure he won for Black Panther, the first one. He might have won for Wakanda Forever, but I'm pretty sure he won for the first one. So he has 2 Oscars right now. I could see him winning for Sinners. I mean, this score is one of the best of the year. I think One Battle After Another is my favorite score of the year so far, but Sinners is still my second favorite. I think a lot of people are going to say that Sinners is their favorite, and I believe them, because One Battle After Another score doesn't work for everyone. That piano going on, piano going off for the whole time doesn't really work for everyone. Sinners has a really intricate score of different musical elements, guitar, piano, strings. I really love Ludwig's work and how he just makes it sound so great. And it was blasting in IMAX when I saw it. I mean, it really does blast, and it has a great mix on the 4K physical copy. I really do recommend picking that up if you want to support physical media. It has a great mix. Dolby mix is terrific. But yeah, Sinners, I have it getting the win for best score at the moment. For our last category, I have best song. You're going to see I don't have 8 nominees because I'm not bothered to look for 8 songs. I don't even have full 5 songs here. 5, I had Diane Warren because she's usually going to have a song every year. She's going to have an 80% chance of getting a nomination. So maybe 4, Wicked for Good. 2, Wicked for Good. I think they're going to have a couple original songs with this one. The first one, they didn't have any original songs. This one, they're going to have a couple. So I see maybe 2 of them getting in. Ariana Grande, Cynthia Erivo singing their hearts out. Come on. Those are easily going to get nominated. 3, I have Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunters. This is the most popular song. I've heard this one. It's an amazing song. Really do enjoy it. Number 1, though, I have I Lied to You from Sinners. I know some people have this, lower. I know some people that have Wicked for Good at number 1, but I'm holding out hope that the Academy gives it to Sinners because I think it just means more. And I think the song just has a lot of emotion behind it, especially for the character in the movie. I don't see Wicked for Good being a better movie than Sinners. So if we want to award the better movie here, it would be Sinners for I Lied to You. And this is one of the big turning points in the movie. I think mostly everyone's favorite scene in the movie with Miles Catton and the IMAX expanding ratio and the different cultures coming together, dancing around the song. It's an amazing sequence, one of the best of the year. So for right now, I have I Lied to You winning for best song from Sinners. But that's going to be it for my early Oscar predictions for October. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and also if you have different predictions than me, leave your own thoughts down below in the comments. I'm not saying I'm right. These are just early predictions just for fun with you guys. I want to see what you guys have for your early predictions, so leave those down below in the comments. But that's going to be it for this video. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.